What is going on, gamers? The Red Dragon here, joined today with the round table. Today's guest, Lost in Place,
Hola, senor.
Joker.
Giggity.
Now those two are from the Booster Busters. Alpine Gremlin from Battle Strats.
What's up, guys?
And Dr. Rodders from Battle Strats, and also a YouTube extraordinaire.
Yeah, cheers.
So we are going to get into the news of the day, featured on BattleStrats.com. Front page, we are going to start off not with the top story. We've talked enough about Mass Effect 3 the last few days. If y'all want to read that story, that's just a letter from the co-founder of BioWare, just letting you know what we've already told you about, how they are planning on addressing the ending for Mass Effect 3. So gamers won that one. Ubisoft, they say that they are tired of the war on pirated video games. They want to focus more on trying to figure out a way to get you to want to jump online instead of just trying to force you online. So their DRM service is very controversial, but it's to try to protect their brand and trying to keep you from pirating video games. But instead they're going to focus on, say, social aspects or something else like that. Do y'all think that's the right way forward?
It's hard to say, really. It's, you know, if you want to keep someone from pirating, it's a war you're going to lose. Everyone's going to pirate. There's always going to be those people. It's the best thing to do is just make the best games humanly possible within your reach, and just continue and try to prosecute those who are pirating, because no matter what you do, pirates are going to pirate.
I think they've got to change their approach anyway, though, because at the moment the DRM is just hurting the people who buy the game properly. So all they're doing is hurting the people who want to support their game, and it's just ridiculous.
Right, and I would imagine that the vast majority of people buy their games. I mean, I understand that I'm sure they're losing a lot of money on pirated games, but I don't see that it's worth it, you know, to upset your main customer base. I agree with you there. Did you guys check out the Dust 514? There's like a 30-minute video on the front page of Battle Strats, and it's a full rundown of the game. They're showing it off. Microsoft, I think, really screwed the pooch when they didn't come up with an agreement with these guys making this game, because this game is going to be one of the best games this year if they pull this off.
It has a lot of potential, but I think they're kind of jumping the gun. They're integrating PS3 and PC basically into the same gameplay, and I just don't know if these platforms are ready for it. You know, Xbox tried this a while back. If you guys knew Lost Planet and Shadowrun, those Xbox 360 titles, you could play through PC with PC Xbox could play together, but it was plagued with glitches and problems. This was too soon.
Well, go ahead, Joker.
I think this is a great idea. You're combining Eve, which is a massive game, and something for PlayStation 3, which is I think we're about ready for it. Some successful anyway, and they've been working on this for a few years now, so I think it'll work out really well. But the biggest problem is compatibility between the PlayStation, the PC. But once they get past that, it should be smooth sailing.
Yeah, now I was watching on this demo. I mean, they show the integration with the PC and the PS3. Now, yes, they probably are hooked up directly, but I mean, what it showed, what amazed me was, you know, Eve is not a first-person shooter. Like you said, it's a PC game. It's a massive online game, and then Dust 514 is going to be a first-person shooter on the PS3. But they're interconnected in the format, in the way that they showed like a guy on the ground on the PS3 tossing out a flare or something to designate an area for target, and then the PC players were able to see that target and shoot down like artillery or something on the map as this is all happening in real time. So you're playing the PS3 game. These other players are playing a totally different PC game, but they're interconnected, and it worked flawlessly, you know, in the demo. And if they pull it off and they are able to make it work flawlessly, you know, across the airwaves, this game is going to be a massive hit. Plus, it is free to play, and you can't beat free.
Exactly.
It has the potential. You're right. I just don't know. There's so much chance for failure, like way things could go wrong. I just don't think these consoles are ready.
I think the major factor will be how quickly Sony can approve the patches and keep that going. Because it's going to have to keep up with the patches that they can just roll out to PC.
Yeah, now one of the members of the chat, Blonde Bassis, he brought up that Valve, he brought up something else. What was it? Counter-Strike? They were going to try to do cross-platform gaming, and they ended up canceling that aspect of it. So it must be difficult. And I would be worried if it wasn't a company that didn't have, any type of history, but I'm sure it takes a lot of firepower to put EVE up there. And so if they are, able to pull off EVE, I have faith, at least, that they can give it a hell of a run to try to get this going. Dust 514 is going to be a game to definitely keep an eye on. Then GameStop, their boss came out and said that the next Xbox will indeed have and play used games. And, we talked about this a little bit yesterday, but more and more people are coming out and saying there's no way that they're going to just stop the Xbox 360, because people are still going to be making and producing games for the 360, and so there's no way that they're going to not allow you to play those games on the new system whenever it comes out, because that's a huge market that they would lose and have to basically be starting all over. And it just makes perfect sense. Now, who's to say that you won't be able to go digital as far as downloading goes, because they're really opening up Xbox Live Arcade. And if you haven't heard the news with that, they're really trying to bring in or open it up to where it's not just indies and not just big games. They're trying to fuse it into really just one big system. And they also up the achievement points, if that makes a difference for any of you guys. Are any of you achievement whores? Do you pay attention to the achievements when you get a game?
Sometimes.
Not really.
I used to. Lost. You don't, do you?
No, I really don't care about them. It's
Your
just an
tag-
added bonus.
Your tags get banned so much that it doesn't afford you to really keep up with the game, I don't guess.
I had one tag banned, and all of a sudden I'm a rebel.
You are a rebel. And then, of course, the big news that everybody is wanting to discuss, the Battlefield 3 patch. Now, I'm going to bring up the patch notes here so you guys can check some of this out. This is on the Battlefield blog. What was the biggest update here for you, Dr. Rodders?
For me, it's got to be the improved handling of the Havoc. I cannot tell you how long I've been waiting for this and how happy it makes me that the Havoc will finally be able to fly as well as the Viper. So at the moment, it's just a sitting duck in the air. So all the helicopter changes that I can see are just fantastic. And I'm really looking forward to getting my hands on the choppers when the update's out and just seeing what we can now do with it.
Now, were there other big chopper changes, or was that the big one, the Havoc maneuverability?
That's the big one for me because I think it brings more balance to the game. But there's so many. It's like below radar now prevents the lock on a Stingers and things like that. Little things like this that will just change the gameplay so much, will make the tactics so much different than they are now, and have to make both the pilots and the people on the ground trying to shoot at them mess up their tactics, and it'll just make a completely new air game, really. So, yeah, really looking forward to that.
Now, I see a user in the chat, Coat Tom, he posted he wants the PS3 input lag to be fixed. Now, I was reading an article earlier that said turn off anti-aliasing, and that should help correct some of that lag input that a lot of people are having problems with. Now, the patch, I forgot to even mention, it will be released on the PS3 on the 27th of March, so that's next week. But Xbox, PC, still no update on when we are going to be receiving this patch. So I'm not sure what happened there, because I had read an article where they said they were all submitted And hell, you don't even have to submit anything to the PC, do you? They can shoot them down on their own servers. So it's kind of curious as to why the PS3 is getting it first and why they are the only ones getting it. But Joker, which updates were you most pleased with?
The one I like is the update with the mortar. It can no longer be deployed in area out of combat. So now basically it's fair game. Someone's chucking mortars, we can find the person and take them out.
Yeah, now somebody did mention that Modern Warfare 233, Battlefield 3 is perfect on the PC. So they may have already fixed a lot of the stuff. I don't know. Well, I guess they couldn't have though, because it does say PC will come soon. So I'm assuming that means it's not there yet. But it looks like there shouldn't be any delay. As soon as they get that ready, they should be able to push that down. And Lost, you're not a big Battlefield 3 player, are you? Anyway.
Well, I did hear that there's a glitch where you can get under the map Black Box, but Robert Boeing tweeted out, said they're aware of it, and they are working on a fix. So we're pretty happy about that.
We're still talking about Battlefield, buddy.
Oh.
That's okay. You got Modern Warfare on the mind. I understand. For me, there's just a lot. There's a ton of different gun changes, and I haven't even read half of this stuff, to be honest with you. But I know the USAS, I'm sure, is fixed. The gadgets, stuff like spot times and being able to place down radio beacons, the EOD bots now easier to handle. That's going to be a big improvement. Here's where I read about the anti-aliasing for the input lag. So I'm not sure if that option is available already to PS3 players or if that means that it's in the patch. But if that's the case where it's in the patch, then next week you'll be able to set that up. They're also showing some improvements to the map, so they're going to try to give you some more details as to where you are on the map. And they also improved Comoros for PC, so I know a lot of PC gamers were begging for that, so you are getting an improvement for that. Up at the top there was a few other big details. We have, let's see, the Rena servers are also going to be coming. So we talked about just the other day how the custom playlist was now available on the menu, and soon enough you're going to be able to, once we get the patch, PS3 should be able to do it. You guys could tell us how it works, and Xbox should be coming soon with, of course, the private servers. Now, one thing that I did want to bring up, because whenever I read this about the PS3 getting the patch first and Xbox and PC to follow, I immediately thought of a story, and I'll pop it up on the page real quick. This is from MP First. I use them a lot for Battlefield 3 stories. They're a good source if you guys want to check it out, and I'll also link it in the description box. Now, this was a interview a few days ago, and we'll read this right here. Kurtz, he's talking about DICE, we only update a specific platform if we have an issue on that specific platform. And he's basically saying we don't want to show favoritism to any platform. So he's basically saying we try to, what I understood that to say is we don't try to put out patches first on one system and not the other. Now, of course, you may have had a situation where DICE could have had a problem with Microsoft. Maybe Microsoft rejected it during the certification process, and that's why it's delayed. I can't imagine them saying that and then turning around and saying, okay, well, we're going to show favoritism now to PS3, and just hopefully nobody ever heard that quote, last week. So more than likely, I'm going to assume, I hope, at least that's what I'm hoping, is that there was just a problem with certification, and that's why they haven't been able to push it through yet. So I believe that about does it for this edition. Guys, you got any videos or anything coming up this weekend? Y'all going to be live streaming?
I'm live streaming Sunday night, probably around 8 p.m. Bust some boosters. Haven't done that in a while for a live stream.
Joker, you got anything going on?
Should be bringing out a Skyrim Dragon shit-talking video here in the next couple of days.
Sounds interesting. Dr. Rodders?
Probably no content this week as I've had a load of stuff going on, but hopefully next week I'll be back on and creating some more helicopter videos.
Well, you still have the best voice of all of us in here. That does it for me, the Red Dragon. I appreciate you joining in on the live roundtable. We're going to be gone this weekend, but check back in next week. We're going to be doing this every weekday, 4 o'clock, the live roundtable discussion where you can check out the latest gaming news happening right now on the front page of BattleStrats.com. Be sure you check out the links in the description box. Thank you to Lost in Place, Joker, Dr. Rotters, and I am the Red Dragon. Tune in next time. Thanks for watching.